My name is Lily. I'm Terry's daughter, and she works at the McGuanago Community Library. She does these cool Zendoodle classes, which I think that are very cool. I even tried to do them at my home. Today, I am going to tell you how cool my mom is at her Zendoodling, techniques, and how she does them so well. First of all, she's an artist, as I think most of you know, and she does a lot of cool designs which I've seen her do. She also has been practicing for a long time. She always records the videos after bed because she can't have any loud noises, otherwise it would be disrupting for her videos and for you guys when you watch it. During her videos, she makes them and she posts them on the McGuanago Community Library page so that since the library is closed, you can follow along in her Zendoodle classes if you are interested. I hope you enjoy her videos, and I hope that you can come to one of her classes when the library reopens. Bye!
Thank you, Lily, for that nice introduction. So you've all met my Lily. I have another one over there. She didn't want to be in the video. Oh wait, here she comes. Hi! So today we're going to do an Art Deco series. We're going to do 3 different designs with Art Deco. It will use a ruler and you will have a pencil. It's very rare, but it does happen. We hope you enjoy these Zendoodles. Bye!
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Alright, so we'll get started on our Art Deco week. And we're going to have 2 supporting characters today to our story. We're going to have a ruler. We don't use these often in class, but we do use them sometimes because sometimes if the pattern isn't completely straight, it does look a little silly. So we are going to use a ruler actually today for 2 different patterns. And then we have the pencil. I know, shocking. I know. But we do use that as well sometimes. Alright, so we're going to set those aside for just a second. You're going to start with your standard square, or whatever shape it is that you like to draw. I'm going to use a Sharpie again just because it's a little bit easier to see than the pen that I had, I think. 2 inch by 2 inch square, approximately. Doesn't matter what size you have. I'm going to take a ruler. It's just a standard ruler. I'm going to draw a line from corner to corner just because that's a good starting point. Like that. And then we're going to draw every half inch. So I do a half inch grid. You can do whatever size you'd like. If 3/4 is more appealing, or you want it to be really tiny, you certainly can do that. It's up to you. Just like that. And I like to draw with my first line visible, so I can make sure that I have it. Or you could just measure 2 times, and then you have a better way of getting a straight line than just kind of eyeballing it. But I'm an eyeball it kind of girl, so we're gonna do that. So now I'm going to take my ruler and go in the opposite direction. You don't have to go corner to corner. You just want to make sure that it's kind of square in this area. So whichever way you go, you just want to watch that. So a half inch again. So I'm just going to start anywhere in the middle. It doesn't matter, wherever you want to go. You're going to draw a line. It's pretty tight to the first line. It's pretty close. The first one there. And then out towards the side. Like And you're going to repeat that same thing. So you want 2 in each rectangle, and then they're really close together. It's a little hard to do with the Sharpie because the Sharpie kind of bleeds a little bit, so I wouldn't recommend using a Sharpie. And then you're going to draw one. See how these two are kind of the same spacing there? I'm going to draw one that's a little bit further out. So it's kind of like double the two. Like this same size here, I'm going to do that one line right here. Alright, and then I'm going to color that one in. And then there's a center design in each one. And it's going to go, imagine you're drawing a line kind of from point here to point here. So it's going to go straight up and down. It's going to be a tall one. Oops. Tall one like that. And then there's a little bit shorter one over here. But leave a gap in between because there's going to be 5 total. Oops, that one's a little off. And then 2 short ones in the middle. That's it. That's the entire pattern. Now you're going to do that in every single one. If you're the kind of person who doesn't like to color in each section by itself, you certainly can do it kind of as, sometimes if you have your space, if you have your hand going in a certain direction, it's easier to just keep going all the way down the row or the column, whichever way you're working. So if you want to draw the line here, make sure you don't come all the way to the end here. There is a break there. So make sure you don't miss that step. Come down and stop. Come down and stop. And then you can go the other way. The line, leave a break, hit the line, and then we work backwards. So you can do it either way. And then break. Sometimes if you do it this way, it does help keeping the lines together, in the same section, so that, in the same line there, so you don't have one that's way over here, one that's way over here. But sometimes that's the beauty in it, I think. So again, this is one of those end ones where you have to imagine the pattern keeps going. This line is just going to die right into there. There won't be another line coming off of that. And same with this one, you'll just see a little bit of a tail coming down on this side. go back and I'm going to put my little pieces in there. Again, this would not be the place where you want to use a Sharpie because you can see, I don't know if you can tell on this one, but it kind of bled a little bit. So you want to use a pen for this section if you use a Sharpie to color in. And these lines do not go all the way to the top, of course, which is why these two side ones are a little bit shorter. If I made them the same height, they would touch those lines. I don't want that. And none of these center lines touch either. Alright, the next one that we're going to do requires a pencil. So we're going to make, I'm going to start with my Sharpie though, so you're going to be switching back and forth just a little bit here. So you're going to draw a stand, your same rectangle or whatever shape it is that you like, square. Just like that. I'm going to put my Sharpie aside for a second. Now you're going to do the same half-inch thing, but you will need, grid, but you need to have your horizontal lines, your half-inch lines here, be in pencil. So I'm going to start, you can see that the end of my ruler is beyond the outside of my square here, and this one down here is too, so it'll be every half inch. So I don't want to have it where I end a line like so that it's right on here. So you just kind of want to space that out a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and put little marks. I don't know if you can see them, but I'm going to draw mine really heavy. Yours is going to be very light because you're going to erase this line. But I need to draw mine in heavy so that you can see it. So remember, keep these pencil lines very light as you can without, while still being able to see them. So the best way to draw straight lines through any section is to actually measure it twice. So you put one tick mark here and one tick mark here so you can line them up. But I'm not going to do that. You can certainly do that though. So there's my half inch. Now it doesn't look like this one is straight. This line is straight, but this end piece is not. So it might look a little funny that way. So I'm going to turn my paper back this way. So you can actually put the pencil down. You're not going to use that anymore for this section. Now we're going to use your pen, and you're going to do kind of like a brick pattern, where the mortar is offset. You're going to start anywhere on the paper, doesn't matter where. I'm going to put a little dot. I mean, it shouldn't be tiny, but one that you can see, just not super small or super big. And then you're going to draw a line straight down, as straight as you can, to the next pencil line, and you're going to stop. And then over just a little bit, you can do a half inch. If you want to measure them, that's fine. If you just want to eyeball it, that's fine too. And that's about a half inch. I'm going to draw another one in the next line, or the next row, excuse me, and draw that straight down. So this is going to be my spacing. So I drew these lines to get my spacing. So whatever spacing I have here, I'm going to do about the same here. And then the same thing with this. So the spacing here would be the same on this side. You're going to keep going until you get off the page. So this next one you won't see because it's over here. And then this one on this side, you actually would just see a little bit of a tail here. So just draw it. Now you already have this already spaced, so drawing the rest of them is going to be easy. So in my next row here, I'm just going to follow, I'm not going to draw it, but kind of just follow a line all the way down. Put your dot here, and draw another line. Same with this one, come straight down. So for this top row here, I can't see my top line because it would actually be right about here. So I'm just going to go straight up here and just draw my line. It will go off the page. You won't see the dot for these. And this one, you might see a little bit of a tail. That's the first section. Alright, so now this part you can use your ruler again if you'd like, otherwise you can just eyeball it. I'm going to use my ruler because the first time I tried to eyeball it, it didn't look so great. So on these bottom points of all these rows, the bottom, not the part where you did the dot, the bottom part, you're going to line it up and you're going to go straight through all of those like that. I'm just lining up the bottom. I can see all the bottom dots. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but I can see all the bottom dots. This one's a little bit harder because you can't see anything there. So I'm going to put my ruler here, and I'm going to kind of just make sure that this edge is straight with the line that's there. Just line it up a little bit. Like that. Oh, one more. Same on this top one here. I can't quite see my bottom point. It'll be about right about there. I'm just going to make sure that it's parallel with this one here. There we go. So I'm going to do the same thing in the other direction. Yeah, I'm going to draw one that I can see more dots on first. I don't ever like to start on the end or the side because you can't see that full square and it can really mess you up. So here I can see this dot. I'm going to make sure that it's parallel with this one, not the bottom of this dot. Or excuse me, this line, because I can't see that. Alright, so now I'm going to do this part freehand. You can continue to use the ruler if you wish. It will look a lot better. Actually, maybe I'll use the ruler. We'll try it with the ruler. So you're going to draw, you're going to basically draw two diamonds, or well, actually they're squares, but you know, diamonds around this little dot. But you're not going to touch the dot. So it's up to you where you want to start. I'm going to put a dot here and a dot here that are evenly spaced between this point and this point. So there's two. I don't know if you can see that in the video. There's two of them there. That's going to be my point 1 and point 2. I'm going to have to remove my ruler because I can't see my other line. So I'm going to use this as my base to make sure that it's straight. Now you have to be careful because this is my line that I want to start on. I'm only drawing off of this line and it's not going to touch the side line. So this is a little bit harder if you don't have a clear ruler, so you have to be careful. I'll show you in just a second. See what I mean? So you start here on this bottom line and you go out to this line here. Actually, it's not quite to that line, but it's a good place to stop, is on your pencil line. Just like that. I'm gonna do the same thing on this one. Within my next dot, so that I have two diamonds around my little dot on my vertical section. Just like that. So I'm going to do that actually all in the same direction, since I have my ruler this way. Maybe I'll use this one. Make sure they're evenly spaced as much as you can. Get them in that area. This one's a short one. Oops, I just drew it all the way through. See? Sometimes you mess up, and that's okay. Oops, I got a little excited. So that is a no. Oops. You can draw the other side if you wish, or you can keep going around to the next one, because you have this next point here and this next point here. So you can do either direction that you'd like. I'll just show you what it's like going this way. They don't all line up, which is unfortunate. Oh yeah, this is the one I messed up on. That's why they don't. Because I messed up. So you're going basically from where this Sharpie line meets, or your pen line meets your pencil line, all the way through to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, and to the next one. Make sure you don't get confused like I did the first time there. And this line should be parallel, so if you have one for some reason that's a little bit off, you're going to just basically ignore that. Make sure you stop, like right here. You want to kind of you don't have to put this dot in there, but make sure that you don't go all the way to the other line. I'll show you what I mean. Like that. So this line does not touch the side of the box or the side of the diamond. I'll finish off this one. So it's going to go from here. Actually, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go from this bottom point across so that I know where to stop on my pencil line here. Paper so I can see my line here. So here's my dot, and I'm going to do the same thing off of all of those. I'm going to stop when I get to the pencil line. As you can see, I do not do so great on my points here. This little line here should not be there. So it's up to you how you want to do it. I messed up a couple of times, no big deal. My next round will be better. So that's how Zendoodle works. This is my first time ever doing it. Well, it's the second time drawing this one. We just do better on the next one. So I'm going to keep going, and you can just listen to the music. come up, you can fix these little pieces here where you may have a gap. It's not much you can do if you go over a little bit, like this one's not completely square. But that's okay, it still looks the same. So now you're going to go back and you're going to redo your horizontal lines. You're going to stop when you get to the center point here. So you can use the ruler at this point, but I'm not going to. So I don't want to draw a line through this section. In this little diamond, there should be just pencil line. So stop. Stop. Okay, so then you're going to take your pencil and you're going to go back and you're going to erase the lines in just that center diamond. If you are using regular pen, you want to be sure that your pen is completely dry before you do your erasing, or you're going to smear your line. You have to wait a little while for that all to cure and set before you can go back and erase. So that's the next one. So this is a pretty rough one. Don't be discouraged. Oh, I actually just noticed I forgot something. Right here. So don't be discouraged if you feel you didn't do well. It's okay. Try again. You have to be very accurate in your measuring for this one. But good job. Alright, so the last one that we're going to do, I don't need any of this stuff here. What you do want to do if you don't have, this is actually just a greeting card that I got for Christmas. The reason I'm going to use it is because it's pretty stiff and it has a nice corner on it. You can just use a ruler if you'd like, or anything that you have, a corner of a piece of paper, whatever you want. But this is actually a border that we're going to do. Put my llama aside here. We're going to draw just a straight line at the bottom. Sorry, I got some eraser shavings there. Straightish, doesn't have to be perfect there. And this is just a series of triangles. This is a very Art Deco one as well. So I'm going to use just the corner. And I want to line it up so that it looks like it's even on this side and this side. So I'm going to put a little mark there. So this is where I want it to line up. So you're going to use that to trace your little triangle here. So to the point, and back down, just like that. I'm going to slide down. So it's going to work off the point from the last one. To the point, back down. So I'm not done with my greeting card yet. I'm going to put a dot, so I'm going to run a line, imaginary, from the top point of here to the bottom, and use a dot there. And this one should line up on this side. So I'm going to draw another set of diamonds that are right in between the other one. Excuse me, not diamonds, triangles, that are right in between the other one. So again, want to line up your line. Another set. You're going to work off the point from the previous one, so obviously you want to follow this new line and not the old diamonds, or I keep saying diamonds, the old triangles that you just drew. So I'm going to go and do my next set. So what you're going to do is you pick a line. It doesn't matter which one you do. Either the first one that you drew or the second set that you drew. One zigzag is what you're going to follow. So you're going to put little squares in the corners, the top and the bottom corner. So I'm just going to pick this one because it doesn't really matter. I'm going to draw just a little square. And try and make sure that it's as square as it can be. And then I'm going to follow I'm going to jump over one and put another square here. Jump over one and put another square. Just like that. Okay, now you're going to follow the same line, not a different line, the same line. You're going to go up from this one to find the corner in between, and you're going to put a square on the underside of that peak. Just like that. Follow it back down, you should find another square. Go back up the same one, and put a little square right here. Down and back up to this point, or you can jump one like we did before. Just like that. So now I'm going to add one more triangle in there. I'm going to use my greeting card again. You can again use your ruler if you'd like. So you're going to draw another triangle that comes off the bottom of this one. So you're working on just the top triangles. You're going to come off the bottom of this one and the bottom of this triangle. I'm sorry, square. I'm going to make a new triangle. It's hard for me to see since my head's not right above that. Just like that. So you're going from the bottom of the square to the bottom of the square. Okay. And you kind of want to watch your tops. If they don't line up very well, you may have to make your square a little bit bigger on the top of the other peak. So this one here needs to be just a little bit bigger. We have it. It's the last of our Art Deco border. This one here is not quite lined up. I don't know why it got off there, but anyway, still looks really neat. So you can embellish this however you want. You can add color. You can do that with this as well. You can add some shading in here, make the center, kind of dark, or you can make the outline dark and the center very light, kind of like a candle type of look. You can add a little color in here. I saw the one that I saw. I think it was a piece of paper actually. It was actually all gold. And like all these vertical lines and these side pieces were all gold, and then that center line was black. So it looked really neat. So you can add a lot of different things. And that is the end of our class today.